On this episode of Sloan's Wilderness Expeditions, we leave our campsite in Big Cypress National Preserve for an epic day trip into the beautiful Florida Keys. This is a very different kind of adventure for us, so come along for the ride. Good morning, fellow expeditionists. Today we got up really early. We are now in the Keys. Currently here in Key Largo, behind the Hampton Inn. We're here just for some nostalgic purposes. We actually stayed at this hotel back in 2017. It's one of the reasons Catfish wanted to come down to the Keys. You know, he was pretty young at the time, doesn't have a lot of good memories from the area, but he knows he'd like to see the iguanas and free roaming chickens and all that, huh?
That was cool.
Yeah, so we're back here, at least for a day, to check all of it out. Apparently we were too early for the iguanas to be active yet, but we did have an encounter with this dwarf Florida panther by the trees. We've discovered the elusive Florida panther. Oh, this is a rare opportunity to study the Florida panther up close. I think he's going to show his panther tree prowess. We continued driving down the Overseas Highway. It is 113 miles from Key Largo to Key West, with 42 bridges connecting each key. We did visit the Florida Keys once back in 2017, and we actually did not have this visit planned, at all, for this trip. But Catfish was feeling nostalgic, and with us being so close up in the Everglades, we took the day to do some of the more touristy things we wouldn't normally do. Pulled off on one of the little pull-offs on one of the causeways in Isla Morada. Beautiful scenery everywhere down here, isn't there, Catfish?
Yeah, it is.
I do know a couple of people that live in the Florida Keys. I have a cousin that is retired down here somewhere, and I have an old high school buddy, Sean Brandenburg, that also happens to be the chief of police in Key West. Unfortunately, since this was an unplanned visit on my part, I was unable to catch up with him this time around. My apologies, Sean. Someday I'll get it together and do a proper visit to the Keys. Alright, fellow expeditionists, we have decided to make a stop here at Bahia Honda State Park. And I apologize if I'm mispronouncing that. I'm not really sure how the Bahia part is actually pronounced. But yeah, I've always wanted to see this park. Didn't make the time for it in 2017, but multiple times I've looked into actually making camping reservations here, and it is always full. And you're going to see why. This place is so beautiful. I've always been fascinated by the story of this bridge. This is, of course, the only remnants left of it, but that's what originally connected mainland all the way out to Key West, long before the Overseas Bridge was built. This is the only remaining section of the original railroad that connected mainland Florida to Key West. What's fascinating is that the first road built to Key West was literally built above the railroad, as the railroad itself was too narrow. You can still see the concrete on top. So you notice here, Bahia Honda, they actually have sand beaches, which is very, very uncommon in the Keys because all of the beaches here are just hard coral, because basically it is a old coral reef. But I'm pretty sure they probably brought in most of this sand to create some sand beaches. It's absolutely a beautiful place. Well, that settles that. Bahia Honda. We're standing now on top of the old Bahia Honda railroad bridge. After the railroad went out, they actually turned it into Highway 1. So once upon a time, on top of the railroad was also the Highway 1 to get to Key West. Alright, Bahia Honda was a really cool state park, kind of small, but big on scenery. Right now we are heading west. We arrived in the Conch Republic, Key West, and unfortunately I didn't record much of the drive through as the traffic was just crazy. This is peak tourist season here in Key West, late December. But we found a parking spot on the west side of the island and joined all the chickens on the street. It looks like we have the Key West welcoming committee here for us. All right, we are in Key West now. Already been greeted by some chickens. Fought some crazy traffic to get here. And of course, parking is at a premium. Found their nesting sites. This is, of course, peak tourist season here in Key West. So we're just kind of adding to the madness here. But I think that's part of the fun of it. We have reached the southernmost point. Catfish, we're at the southernmost point of the continental U.S. Do you think we should stand in line and get our picture taken with this monument?
I don't think so. We have time for other things.
Yeah. Moving on. What do you think of this town, Catfish?
It is pretty Key West, isn't it?
It is something. It really doesn't even feel like you're in America at this point. It feels like a little foreign nation, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Honda.
Go check out some butterfly stuff.
Yeah.
We debated on visiting the Key West Butterfly Conservatory, as we visited a few butterfly exhibits in other places before, but none of them were quite as immersive as this one.
Butterflies are coming. Next one, first, quickly.
You must have something on you, buddy.
Yeah.
Well, alrighty then. That's new. Guess he likes the color of my hat. You need to get us some colorful hats,
Yeah.
Catfish. It's weird. I have a passenger again. After an amazing experience at the Butterfly Conservatory, we moved on, exploring Duval Street and looking for a quick lunch. Got us a little lunch here at Pizza Joe's. Just keeping it light for lunch. We're now at the Fort Zachary Taylor State Park here at the tip end of Key West. Fort Zachary Taylor was another nostalgic visit for Catfish. He spent a lot of time at the beach here in 2017. This time around, we were just here for the scenery and hoping to find iguanas, which are far more absent this time around. We're just not finding nearly the amount of iguanas we expected to. Last time we were here in the Keys 5 years ago, the iguanas were everywhere. They are not active. We haven't found any here on Key West yet. It's about 4:30 p.m. We're making our way back towards the Sunset Pier. for all of these sunset activities, hopefully. Really, we just need to kind of relax. This is probably the most walking and hiking we've done in a while. And lucky us to be here on Farmers Market Thursday. It's like a little party here. There's your place, Catfish. Plants.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I don't go visiting either because you know
some really awesome old homes and architecture in this town. Just beautiful, everything about it. Here we have the Little White House. It was a Navy quarters that was converted and used by multiple American presidents, including William Howard Taft, Harry S. Truman, Dwight D. Eisenhower, John F. Kennedy, Jimmy Carter, and Bill Clinton. We made our way from the farmers market toward Mallory Square, where there is a nightly sunset celebration, complete with street performers including jugglers, musicians, magicians, and more. Sunset at Mallory Square here in Key West is where the party is at every night. It's pretty much flies in the face of everything Catfish and I usually do. It goes against everything we typically are about when it comes to overcrowding and tourist traps. But you know, it's something you have to experience. So we're going to experience it.
1, 2, 3!
We've had a very long day today here in the Keys, about 12 hours I would say probably, and we've still got a long drive back to the campground. It was a great time though. Catfish, what was your favorite thing here in Keys?
I think that butterfly enclosure was pretty awesome.
Yeah, the Butterfly Conservatory of Key West was surprising. We've been through many butterfly exhibits and stuff where they fly around you, but nothing quite like that, huh?
Yeah.
That concludes our impromptu visit to the Florida Keys. And yes, we know there's so much more to Key West and beyond that we missed. One of these days we will do a proper visit to the Keys. But honestly, I might have to win the lottery to make that happen, as I haven't found a way to do a Key West trip on the cheap yet. If you have any recommendations, let me know down in the comments. Thanks for coming along. Peace out.